Hey everybody, we're okay. We're idiots is what we are.
Yes, we are.
We wanted to put together just a quick kind of a training video. I know a lot of you weren't able to come to the past training session we had last week. And really the goal of this today is to help you with the curriculum in our junior church. And so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to kind of walk you through, Russell and I walk you through kind of an example, a sample curriculum. You'll see it on your screen there. But wanted to share a couple thoughts with you about specifically Piper and his curriculum. I'll do this quick, but really Piper does a great job in this curriculum. If you've used it at all so far, you have seen that it's very theocentric is the word we'll use right now. It's centered on God.
Big God is what you say.
Very big God, and he does a great job at that. In fact, the providence of God. Piper shows in a very great way, or his group shows in a great way how big and vast and how awesome our God is. And so we're going to kind of show you just briefly the advantages to that in the curriculum. Piper also in some spots really makes it Christocentric as well, makes it very Christ-centered. But one thing that we think is lacking and could be done a little better is gospel-centric. And we want to show you how to incorporate not just a great big God that revealed himself through Christ, but how that Christ comes and changes us and rescues us, and how important that is to plug into the curriculum. So, theocentric, Christocentric, gospel-centric. And we want to really plug the gospel into this curriculum. I'm going to show you how to do that.
Yep.
So
let's break those down real quick. Just to give you a heads up, there's going to be two parts to this video. The first part, we're going to kind of break down these terms. The second part, we're actually going to dig into the curriculum and kind of go through an example. So Josh, can you break down kind of what you mean by theocentric and gospel or Christocentric real quick?
Yeah. So theocentric really is just it's a very big God-centered curriculum. Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah.
So great big God, like I said, they do that really well in here. My purpose will stand, a study for children on the providence of God. So they're really going to get that great big God idea. And when you break that down, even a Christocentric, really it shows how Christ is the manifestation, the perfect manifestation of who that great big God is. So in order to understand the vastness and the greatness of God, you need to understand Christ. But what potentially happens, and I'm going to let Russell kind of show you, is that what happens is if you leave it at that and it's just about Christ, then it's easy for Christ, you can talk about this, but just to really become an example,
Yep.
And it doesn't really produce change.
Yeah, and that's really, when we're looking at change, and that's kind of the key to any sort of teaching ministry that goes on at Redemption, is seeing gospel change. So theocentric is awesome because it says, here's God. But a lot of times when you see how big God is, you realize just how bad you are, and you realize how little you can live up to the standard, which is a good position to be in, don't get us wrong, but if that's all you hear, God's big, he'll take care of you, well, that's all nice, well, and good, but I don't say this in a demeaning way at all, but other religions say that, our God is big and can take care of you. Mm-hmm. Well, you go into Christocentric, and that's even better, because that gets toward the heart of the Christian message. But again, the people can walk away with an understanding of Jesus as an example, so I need to be like Jesus. And again, the last time I checked, none of us can walk on water. So what we kind of want to promote is what's known as a gospel-centric. And really, a gospel-centric is built on the foundation of theocentric, Christocentric, and gospel-centric says, yes, God is big, Jesus is the perfect manifestation, you need to be like Jesus, but you can't. You are sinful. You are idolatrous. You want to do everything for your own selfish motivations, even the good things. So here's the thing. Jesus stepped in, and he says, be like me, and he was like himself for you. He did it all for you. So therefore, when you put your faith and trust in him, you trust in him to change your heart, to make you a worshiper of him. And really, with gospel-centric, we're getting to the heart of the matter, which is you're a sinner in rebellion against God, and Jesus has stepped in to rescue you from that. And to be like Jesus, Jesus had to do it for you.
And we're going to see how that, even something that big that we're sharing with you guys, how that is so applicable to a 6-year-old, and to a 5-year-old, to a 7 and an 8, 9, 10, 30, 80-year-old, okay, all of us.
29.
And so I'm going to show you that from the curriculum here, and you'll see this here on your screen, but this is kind of just a sample that they have online. But let me jump down here to our lesson 1. Let me find it. Or lesson 2, the providence of God. Can I zoom this in?
Yep.
Is that all right? Okay, so you're going to see here lesson 2, the providence of God. And you'll see here on your screen the scripture at the top, the memory verse, the key themes. Look at the key themes. God is watching over the universe, and he is working in the universe. Okay, so that is the key theme we want to share with the kids in this curriculum, or in this lesson. God is watching over the universe, and he's working in the universe. Great big God, great theme. We want our kids to know and believe this. So let's work our way through this. We go all the way down, and we start here into the lesson. It says, show the picture, and I'll highlight this here, show the picture of an eye and a picture of a hand from the resource packet. And you know, they say later on that you can just draw this on the board. But one thing I really want you guys to get a picture of right now is picture drawing a big eyeball on the screen and a big hand on the screen, or on the board here in the room. And really the idea here, explain that if the children can remember to think about an eye and a hand, they will be able to understand the providence of God. I agree. So look at what they say here. The next paragraph, show the eye and ask the children what eyes do. And the answer is, eyes see things. Then show the hand and ask what hands do. The hands do things. So tell the children that the Bible talks about the eyes of God and the hand of God. And look at the texts that they give you. They're great. And you'll want to share those with the kids, that God sees all things and that he does all things. So you go down to the bottom. You can ask the children what these verses say about the eyes and the hand of God. Okay, God sees everything. His hands made everything, and he's still working. It's not just that he made it, but he's still working in the world. And that's going to be a key point in a minute. God does things. So let's keep going down. Next page, explain to the children that this is the picture of the providence of God. Take the two pictures again of the eye and the hand and explain providence as follows. So God's eye is on the universe. God's hand is in the universe. God's eye is watching over the universe, and God's hand is working in the universe. These are going to be really important. So explain that the providence of God means that God sees everything and God works in everything that happens in the world. So a basic definition of providence is that God sees everything and he's working in everything that happens in the world. Great lesson, okay? You can give the following example of the providence of God, and you guys can look through that. We look down here. It gives you more text down at the bottom, a little bit more about that, describing that. Okay, so let's jump down. Here we are on the next page about the application.
Yep, and what we're actually going to do here is, just for sake of time with YouTube, we want to give Josh plenty of time to explain, so we're going to pick up the application in part 2, so you'll just go back into your email, click on that second link that you have, and you'll be taken right there. So, all right, see you guys in a moment. Sorry, technical difficulties.
It's not obeying you.
No.